Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Indiana.
Appreciate the recognition, Mr. Chairman. I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
I would like to begin by expressing my appreciation as well to Chairman Frelinghuysen and to congratulate him on the collegial and transparent manner in which he crafted H.R. 4870, the fiscal year 2015 Defense Appropriations Act. I also want to express my sincere appreciation for the efforts of Chairman Hal Rogers and Ranking Member Nita Lowey and all of the members of the Defense Subcommittee. Also, as I think all of my colleagues know, this bill could not have been written without the dedication, long hours, discerning, and thoughtful input of our committee staff and our associate and personal staffs. I want to thank each one of them. I would like to begin by saying a few words about the Overseas Contingency Operations title that the Chairman referred to. The committee has been placed in a very difficult position of having to provide $79.4 billion as a placeholder. Recent decisions on the post-2014 troop levels in Afghanistan clear up a major policy issue that held back a detailed budget request. Unfortunately, the clarity gained was quickly muddled by the proposed $5 billion Counterterrorism Partnership Act and the $1 billion European Reassurance Initiative. At a time when many in Congress are rightfully looking to limit what is an eligible expense in OCO and shift activities to the base budget, these new proposals further complicate the issue. Clarity must be brought to the opaque nature of OCO, and I look forward to the debate on this during the consideration of amendments. I support the bill we are marking up today and believe it provides for our national security and the protection of U.S. interest at home and abroad. But simply, the bill provides stability for our military personnel, maintains readiness, and preserves the industrial base. I am pleased by the subcommittee's continued efforts on sexual assault prevention and response. Specifically, the bill fully funds the budget request for the Special Victims Council, continuing last year's initiative. The bill increases funding relative to the President's budget request for traumatic brain injury and psychological health research, suicide prevention and outreach programs, and several other invaluable medical programs. Further, the bill and report carry strong language aimed at increasing cooperation between the Departments of Defense and Veterans Administration in their ongoing efforts to develop interoperable electronic health records. Specific to readiness, the bill includes an increase of $1 billion to fill gaps in key programs to prepare our troops, including $135 million for the Army Reserve and Army National Guard. The bill makes investments in programs that are vital to the rebuilding and resetting of the force after 13 years of conflict. In particular, it increases funding by $720 million for facility sustainment and modernization and provides each military service with additional funding for depot maintenance. I especially appreciate the Chairman's focus on encouraging DoD to meet the FY 2017 deadline for achieving fully auditable financial statements. The measure before us provides $8 million above the request for the Comptroller's Office to improve business and financial systems throughout the Department. Continuing problems in DoD strategic forces are also addressed in the bill, and funding is provided to address issues directly impacting intercontinental ballistic missile crews. With regards to the industrial base, I was dismayed that in its fiscal year 2015 budget request, the administration proposed the elimination of several long-standing general provisions ensuring that contracts follow Buy America requirements and support domestic manufacturing. I am pleased to note that the committee chose to reject the administration's inexplicable proposals to jettison these Buy America proposals. The bill also contains several other provisions and initiatives aimed at securing our industrial base, including $220 million to establish a program for the domestic development of a next-generation liquid-fueled rocket engine. Hopefully, this program will swiftly fill a very troubling void in the U.S. space launch industry. One other area of the bill I would like to highlight is the funding increase for the Humanitarian Mine Action Program. Albeit a small program, I believe its mission is of immense value. All too often, innocent civilians are the victims of explosive remnants of war. It is only right to share our military's expertise with host nations on the detection, clearance, disposal, and demilitarization of explosive ordnance. I thank the Chairman in particular for his special efforts in this area. However, I would point out that there are certain aspects of the bill that give me pause. Fundamentally, these concerns have little to do with the detailed work of the subcommittee, which I believe did its very best under the constraints under which it operated. Rather, the concerns stem from Congress's continued failure to confront our long-term fiscal challenges. In its fiscal year 2015 budget request, the Department of Defense proposed some significant initiatives, including military pay adjustments, restructuring TRICARE, and the retirement of several weapon systems such as the A-10 and the Kiowa Warrior in order to stay under the fiscal year 2015 budget cap, provide for future flexibility, and to meet national security strategy. Having said this, one could easily point out that the administration then undercut its own efforts by planning for higher spending in fiscal years 2016 through 19 and by submitting the disingenuously named Opportunity, Growth, and Security Initiative, and subsequently also submitting unfunded priority lists. Regardless, a number of the proposals the Department put forth for fiscal year 2015 do possess merit. With few exceptions, these proposals have gained no traction in Congress. Most were excluded or had language prohibiting or postponing their start in the vast National Defense Authorization Act. I do not suggest that the administration is uniformly correct, nor do I dismiss the resultant impacts of many of these initiatives. But the alternative of staying the course and hoping for some relief in fiscal year 2016 is very wishful thinking. The sooner Congress reaches a consensus required to make the difficult decisions that are essential to deal with the reality of finite resources, the better we can provide for our nation's defense. In closing, I again want to reiterate my appreciation to the Chairman for his cooperation, his friendship, and diligence. He and his staff have ensured that the Defense Subcommittee continues this tradition of operating collaboratively and effectively. I am pleased to support this bill and will reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves the balance of his time. The gentleman from New Jersey.
Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to yield 5 minutes to the full committee